you call it? Wicked
Wicked Roll.
Okay, so we're going down to 17. And then what do we? Ooh, lightning bolt. Okay,
That's
okay.
nice.
So Dan's a very patient gamer, and he's not going to. He's not going to just blow this.
Walk into another undying effect.
At this point, you have to be very careful with what you're going to be casting at what time because of all the reanimate spells. They have so many. I think they're up to six to 7 copies. What is this gentleman on?
1 Undying Malice, 2 Malakir Rebirth, and 4 Not Dead After.
So we're at
got
7
effects.
Wow. Kind of telling, though, that he played the Malakir Rebirth first over anything else because it might be beneficial to cast the bolt right now because if he had one of those better reanimate spells, he would have used it to get the counter.
Most likely, yeah.
So he probably doesn't have one or didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
He might have drawn into it, but we'll see. Okay, going to 14.
Dan's just okay with just taking some damage. You don't have a huge...
Use your life total as a tool.
Yep. Just wait. You have a Spell Snare for any Bowmaster that tries to come down.
Or Dothy.
Which
is a huge problem.
Both cards are big problems for Murktide.
I think Dan's just drawing lands, though, which is not good for the Murktide fans out there. But the one thing that is really beneficial for Dan drawing all these lands is these Murktide decks, all their spells are really cheap.
Yep.
So eventually, once you hit one of your draw spells, you can hit another one and another one and another one. You can really churn through the deck.
Yeah, with all these lands, if we draw an expressive iteration, we're going to be cooking.
Yeah, and now that we're at 3, we're going to, on the following turn, be at 4 lands. If he rips, like, say, Monkey, the Ragavan, he can play Ragavan, hold up counter spell, and hold up Lightning Bolt, which is big game. But looks like Chris just picked up a monkey of his own, and we're about to get some monkey business going. All right. That's what we like to see. The monkey's going to go in the paint. Dan's thinking. Doesn't have much to say about it. I think you got to bolt that monkey.
Yep.
Ooh, It hurts so good.
Thinking, is there a scam effect? Or is there a... Ooh, looks like
it is. Bam.
Another rebirth.
Another rebirth. Okay.
Again, the one we're probably the most okay with.
Yep. And the monkey's going to stick around for next turn, though, which is a problem.
Not ideal. Yeah,
we need to see something like a questing druid. Oh!
And there is the man of the hour.
Baby.
Himself.
Okay.
All right.
So we're at 11 life now, if I got my numbers right. So we're at 11. Potentially taking 5 more in the next turn if we don't cast a creature. I think if I'm in Dan's spot, I'm going to 6.
Yeah.
I'm not in the business of just throwing this questing druid out there to die. Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we end of turn fetch for the breeding pool. Because he is on a 1 of breeding pool. He and I talked this morning about it. And he's probably going to, after the fetch, then cast the questing druid in the end step. Because then he can cast the cards on his next turn.
Yep, cast the adventure side.
Dan's I would fetch right now. Ooh, okay. Dan's thinking a little better. This is kind of a...
When is this?
He's casting this in combat.
Okay, maybe he's hoping to hit a removal spell.
Okay, so...
Dan reading what his card does.
Okay, yep. Well, it is a new card.
Yep, it is.
Okay, so monkey. I think...
Those weren't...
Not
huge.
heaters. Not heaters.
No, the Ragavan's all right. Ragavan can contest his opponent's Ragavan. But...
Yep. Spell Pierce is definitely interesting on the next turn. But now we're almost getting out of Spell Pierce range, especially with this treasure. If we have a land to follow up.
Yeah, the Spell Pierce isn't going to do a whole lot here.
And the treasure's probably... I think they put it off screen?
Maybe.
These cards are off screen. Oh, it's a Dragon Rage on the top. Oh, no.
That's not good.
That's the card Dan's been wanting for a few turns now.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at 6 now. If going to 5, if our numbers are right. Fairly confident in that number, but could be wrong. Oh, I actually can see Chris's life total board. We are absolutely correct.
Nice.
It's hard being right all the time.
It is. It truly is. I believe Dan's hand is just what? A land in a spell snare at this point?
Spell snare and I think you might be right on that, a land. But the land's not bad right now. Land's not bad.
No, we got some spells to cast.
That Dragon Rage Channeler is a problem, though, because now it blocks the monkey.
Yes.
Okay, that was another blue spell. I don't think it was a ponder.
That's not legal in this format. So
or preordained, excuse me, preordained. I get the two mixed up a lot. They do the same thing, essentially.
Yeah, one of them takes about 20 minutes longer to resolve.
Yeah, only the people that don't know how to resolve it.
Yeah, that's true. Casting Questing Druid, casting the monkey, just not dashed.
Oh, it's a counter spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's awkward.
It's kind of hard to leave that up by paying 2 life when you're this low and there's 3 attacking creatures.
What do we get? Is Terminate being cast?
A
Bowmaster.
Okay.
Well, now this Questing Druid's
3/3. Now, yeah, it blocks the Ragavan.
But I think we might have delirium.
Sure
that's a bolt that was drawn. Oh man, that's delirium too.
Yeah, that's
a little rough. A little rough for Mr. Wharton.
Yeah, bolt's quite good there. Checking for delirium now. I think we just have instant land creature is all we have right now.
Yeah, but the bolt. The bolt was just lethal.
Yeah,
but
the bolt's just lethal.
Okay. But we're scooping up to the Fury too. It's all good.
The Fury is not beatable either.
Completely unwinnable position.
Yep. Scam doing scam things. Dan didn't have a real hand after.
That wasn't that bad of a game though. There was a lot of bad. Dan, he played his hand how he got it.
Absolutely. Dan played
kind of didn't.
Right. Couple more lands than he would probably like. Didn't see any of his cantrips to get churning through the deck.
Oh yeah. But now we get a lot of good cards. We get stuff like Furies are coming in. What does Dan got in his sideboard? Let's see a Dan sideboard. So Fury's definitely going to be coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Engineered Explosives is probably not. So the sideboard's 1 Fury, 2 Chalice of the Void, 2 Stern Scoldings, 2 Dress Downs, 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Alpine Moon, and 2 Annul. I think the only things that we're going to be seeing coming in is the 1 Fury, the 2 Stern Scoldings. That card, for people that don't know what it does, it's blue. It's an instant, it's blue. Counter target creature that has toughness or power 2 or less.
Yep.
So really, basically counters everything except Fury.
Which is quite good for 1 mana, obviously.
Yeah. Stern Scolding is a very underrated card in Modern right now. That card is very powerful.
Yep.
I can tell you, Twinless Twin blew me out with Stern Scolding.
I bet
My Urza, I thought it was looking good.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
Getting your 4 mana card countered by a 1 mana spell.
It was a blowout. I played into a counter spell, so I could ensure that the Urza went down next turn. I got hit with a Spell Pierce. I'm like, okay, whatever, this Urza's going to resolve. Scalding. I'm like, oh, rough. Dykeman walked away at that moment. Pretty bad. As far as the scam sideboard, we got 2 Shieldred the Apocalypse, 2 Bone Crusher Giants, 2 Leyline of the Voids, 2 Roiling Vortex, 2 Blood Moon, 2 Chalice of the Void, 2 Engineered Explosives, and a Kroxa Titan of Death's Hunger. Cards that we could probably see coming in. I could see Kroxa coming in.
Kroxa's probably going to come in. Yeah.
Blood Moons, believe it or not, potential.
Yeah, Dan just has 2 islands for his basics, but
Shieldred's definitely going to be coming in. Shieldred's a powerhouse in these kind of decks.
Good.
But as far as what's going to come out is the problem. We're talking about a lot of cards that could come in that might be on the should come in plan. But what are we taking out? We're probably just going to be. If I was in Chris's seat, I might just be the must-haves are the Shieldreds. The Kroxa is a good one. Possibly,
There's
yes.
an argument for Chalice of the Void as well.
And there is an argument for Chalice. The problem is just how much are you taking out? How much are you softening your base?
How much can you take out of your deck?
Yeah. How much are you gonna strain it till it hurts? I'm of the opinion that just take a few cards. But I could see arguments for all those cards.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're shuffling up again. And Dan, this is gonna be big. Dan's on the play this time.
It was a lot different. We will establish a turn 1 play.
A turn 1 monkey is very good. A turn 1 Dragon Rage Channeler is also
quite good.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Not many answers to them on turn 1 for scam. You can Fury. You can Bolt, but most of them don't even play 4 bolts. This only plays 2
bolts.
So really, we're on Bolt or Bust if we play a creature on 1, or we're going to scam Fury, which is significantly worse than just doing the scam with grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just saw a monkey in Dan's hand. Ooh, looks like the Bone Crusher Giant did
Bone
come
Crusher
in.
Giant's coming. Okay.
Interesting. I don't hate it.
It can kill most of the. It can kill.
Kill most of the creatures.
Kill Questing Druid before it gets too big.
Also, Dan's playing Steven Dykman's build of Teamer Murktide.
Okay.
So he's playing. So Chris probably doesn't know that Dan has 2 copies of Murktide Region in his deck because typically they're cutting those now.
Right.
So the lists are just very, very tight for space.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he doesn't know about that because if the Bunker Strain definitely not nearly as good. If you know that your opponent's got a Murktide.
Yep, absolutely.
Fetch Shock, yep. Now what are we dropping down? I think we're probably dropping a monkey down.
I would assume we're dropping a Ragavan.
No. I'm sure that Dan's monkey business will not connect.
No, I think it's very unlikely. But like you said, there's not a lot of removal.
There is not. Whenever I'm playing in that seat and I go turn 1 Ragavan, I'm just saying that card.
Assume it's gonna die.
I just assume it's dead. But if it survives, oh baby,
this game just play a Ragavan of their own, and that just contests Dan's Ragavan.
A lot of them side that out. That is the main sideboard card out. Ooh, that is a Thoughtseize. I think I saw a Fury in the back of the hand, perhaps. Okay, so it is just a Thoughtseize for turn. Okay. And Dan's gonna show him what's up. Oh, there the Stern Scoldings. Okay. And that is an Unholy Heat and a Dragon Rage Channeler. Very, very strong hand.
Little hand, yeah.
Very strong hand.
Absolutely.
The Stern Scolding's probably most likely going to be the card taken. That card is just so good against everything that they're trying to do.
Yep.
Oh, taking the Dragon Rage Channeler. I don't hate that either.
Argument for that.
Don't hate that either.
The other.
Take the threat. Okay, so it sounds like our backup match finished, and it sounds like 4 color elementals took down Scales.
Dewey is playing Amulet Titan.
Oh, he's on Amulet Titan?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he's changed it up on me.
So Amulet Titan took down Scales in our backup match already.
Oh no, this is bad for Chris. The monkey hit the Blood Moon.
Oh, we boarded the Blood Moons, and the monkey stole the Blood Moon.
Now, little does Dan know that the other card in hand, or one of the cards in hand, is the Bone Crusher Giant.
Yep.
The Bone Crusher Giant will just take Dan off his monkey, so there's no threats. But they're also playing. We're playing a game where Dan has the basic, and Chris does not, which is big game.
Mm-hmm. So there's a chance that Dan.
I think the way Dan fetched. Oh yeah. You see that slide? Just confident slide. That was a cha-cha slide right there. All right, here we go. Ooh, no basics in hand.
And now Chris does have.
Oh, there is a basic.
Chris has 3 swamps in his deck. So.
Oh no.
That's not ideal.
So Dan, I would put in favor right now of Chris.
Yep, because now Dan's going to be pretty hard blocked off of his double blue spells.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's going to be pretty hard to chain cantrips when you only got 1 blue mana. So we really need to find that.
He only plays 2 basics.
There's only 2 islands in his deck, so we got to start digging for these islands.
Oh my gosh, he's got a Murktide in hand.
And also notable, the creature half of Questing Druid is now...
Or is that a Stern Scolding in hand? Spell Snare.
I could not tell you.
Possibly a Stern Scolding. So Stern.
It looks like a Stern Scolding. I see a big old white beard of Gandalf there. But...
Oh, just slam the Stern Scolding, Dan. Don't keep us waiting.
I think you have to Stern Scolding.
I don't think this can resolve. There's no way.
You can't just let him have treasures.
Especially because he's leaving the black up. You know that's a reanimation spell.
Yep.
Stern Scolding.
Absolutely.
So Stern.
Now, also notable, I believe that I saw the second island in Dan's hand.
I believe that is.
That is the second island. Oh, right. All right.
Baby.
No,
we got a game. And that was a preordained that was drawn.
Yep.
Bam, we're off to the races.
Notably, the creature half of Questing Druid is now not castable.
That is...
Counterspell
Spell Pierce. I think that's a bin.
I don't think we need either of those right now. I think it's pretty hard to leave up counter magic.
I would argue that land is probably better.
Yeah.
Which land is a pretty... Oh, it was a lightning bolt. Okay. Yeah, land would have been a pretty poor draw, but it still would have been better than either one of the spells. Counterspell in this instance is too hard to hold up.
You should leave up all of your blue mana.
So we have a Fury, which is almost... We're almost
Just
ready for
hard
Fury.
casting it.
Yeah. Bone Crusher. Okay.
Okay.
That's gonna eat a removal spell.
Yep.
Question is when. Dan says
Looks
now.
like now.
Oh,
maybe not.
Perhaps not. Perhaps not.
Maybe he's also thinking about the Fury next turn potentially and saving the Lightning Bolt.
Well, the reanimation spell is it's clearly being held
very
up. It's tough. It's tough to just willingly play into it. Because now we're talking. I'm gonna lightning bolt it and take two from the trigger,
and then it comes back.
Comes back with
potentially
a wicked roll,
5/4.
5/4. Then I have to unholy heat it, taking another 2, then
one from
rolls.
So it is.
You're taking 5 if there is a not dead.
Thing it never attacks either.
Yeah, that's never attacking.
All right, so we're gonna bolt it right now.
So Dan, he's going for it.
Oh,
and there's a not dead after all. Yep, there it is.
Not dead after all.
Oh, and Dan's gonna follow up. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna take 4.
Take 4 instead of 5, and we get the 2 for 2. So it doesn't end up being that bad.
And we do get the wicked roll out of the hand. But now the problem is Dan is out of removal spells. He's out of gas. He needs to find something to refuel.
Expressive Iteration is the best roll of the deck. Preordain, probably the next best thing.
Oh, baby. Let's see. Where's the iteration?
Preordain and an Unholy Heat. I'll keep both.
Both, please.
I would love both of those.
Both, please.
Yeah. I think you keep the Unholy Heat on top.
Yep.
And then draw the
heat. No.
Bottoming
Dan says
the Unholy Heat.
Okay.
He just wants to find
some... I bet you Dan's prioritizing a threat.
Yep, he's trying to be proactive himself instead of just sitting back.
He's holding up. He's like, I'm not going to cast this Preordain just yet.
Nope. I think it's worth to leave up the Spell Snare. Just snag a Bowmasters or something.
It looks like this Blood Moon's hurting Chris an awful lot too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure.
Oh, man. What a draw.
And that is exactly what Dan was looking for.
Oh, baby. Let's go. Top 3. Ooh, there's another iteration. Oh, man. Iteration in hand.
Stern Scolding.
Oh, yeah. Dan's thinking about keeping that Stern Scolding. I don't blame him. That's a really good spell. But I kind of like just keeping the iteration. Let's keep let's keep the let's keep the gas going.
Get some more mana going.
Boom. Pass the turn.
Be able to cast more spells.
Yeah, Dan's like, I'm sitting pretty right now. You got to answer me now. Awkward though is if Dan finds the Murktide and casts it, his opponent has the Terminate.
Yep, and Dan has to tap out a blue mana to cast Murktide. So
awkward.
Murktide's not going to be super ideal here.
Okay, and that is the Breeding Pool. Worthy mentioned Chris didn't just draw the Bowmasters.
All right, so we leave the Spell Snare up. That should be fine.
Are we dashing the monkey? I would love a dashed monkey right now.
Dashing a monkey seems quite good right here.
Just casting.
All right,
okay. I see that. That's fine. Chris really has to do something about this monkey, though.
Yeah, we can't just let this see it. We're going to tap black mana for that Bowmaster. Okay, there we go.
Fixed. Dan's, of course, just like up. Please.
Dan's on top of it, like usual.
Please finish that.
And we are going to...
Yeah. If I was Dan, I think I would have much preferred to dash the monkey.
I think I would have dashed the monkey, too.
Yeah.
We're okay with using the two quote-unquote mana every turn to get a treasure back if it connects.
Nice draw off the top with the Grief.
But it's obviously better, like, if the monkey doesn't die here, it's obviously much better to play it.
Yeah. In this instance, we're thinking, Chris is like, do I just terminate and solve this issue?
I think he just terminates while he's tapped out a blue.
I agree with that.
Both players just keeping him off.
We are playing a no threat game.
Yep.
Ooh, that was a bauble that was drawn. So let's see if this Preordain hits the Dragon Rage Channeler.
Dragon Rage Channeler is probably our best threat.
It's another Preordain
and a Murktide Regent.
I don't think Murktide's good enough right now.
I think it might be because we just saw him use the Terminate on the monkey. So I think there's a small there's a chance that Dan thinks that maybe he's out of removal spells.
And he did keep the Murktide.
And yeah, I mean,
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Pretty easy to just keep the Murktide. It's just a huge clock. He has to find the answer.
Okay, Dan's taking a peek at the top. Draws in the upkeep.
Classic, make your opponent have it.
Dan was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking about there. In the upkeep, he's going to draw. Sometimes you just don't know what Warden's thinking.
True.
Gears are always turning.
He likes to think.
This is a grief if I ever saw one. Tap out grief. He passes.
Well, you can't tap out for the grief. We don't have 2 black mana.
Oh, that's right. It's double black.
Yep.
It's double black. I forgot about that. Good call. Good call, Mr. Huizinga. Good call.
Dan's drawn a lot of lands here, but that's not too bad.
It's okay.
Not really complaining. Play the old dragon. Hope he doesn't have a second terminate. See a couple Dothies and a grief in Chris's hand.
I believe it's Dothy, Grief, Fury. I think it's 3 cards. Dan's just like...
Assume this Murktide's going to be an 8/8.
Oh, yeah. You know it's an 8/8.
It's definitely an 8/8.
You know it's an 8/8. Yeah. Dan's just like, if I'm playing this card, I'm going to end the game very quickly.
Yep. Return clock.
Okay, well, we finally got the 5th land. We can cast Fury. I think you're right. It's 2 Dothies, I think. 2 Dothies, like a Grief, and a Fury. And the Takenuma.
Now a Takenuma.
Abandoned Mire.
It's a really cool mountain. I could actually use that one in hand, though. But I think we're going to play this land.
You can make a strong argument to keep it in hand. Strong argument.
I think looking down the barrel, it's 8/8, though. I think we got to put something on board and just hope Dan doesn't have a removal spell for the Fury.
Yeah. Yep. Tough position for Chris here. Tough position.
Now, it would be nice if Chris had another Fury and a red card to kill the Murktide.
That would be brutal.
But he's going to get chunked for 8.
I think Dan just drew his own Fury.
So he didn't find second Murktide. Second Murktide there would have been sweet.
There's a monkey and a Murktide.
All right, so there is the second Murktide. So that makes it so it will be we'll have lethal next turn by just casting the other Murktide and pumping the one we have in play. I kind of like just jamming. If that is a Fury, that is a Fury, right? That has to be. I didn't get a super good look, but yeah, if Dan has a Fury in his hand, I think he keeps the Murktide, slams the Fury, kills Chris's Fury.
Yeah, that's definitely. There's no shot. I know my Furies.
Okay. Yep.
Bang.
Kill the Fury. Swing for 8.
Okay.
And then next turn
you have to
lethal.
Yeah. You have to do something. There was a good argument to keeping the monkey as well, and then just casting Fury and monkey.
Yeah.
Because then you're guaranteed lethal. Because if Chris just puts up a blocker, he can block the Fury.
And if he blocks the Fury, we can cast the second Murktide in hand, which will pump the first Murktide.
Well, he doesn't know.
That's true.
Your opponent doesn't know.
I mean, yeah, your opponent doesn't know, but Dan knows that even a blocker is not good enough there.
Yeah, and very good game played by Dan. Very good game played by Dan. Very fortunate he had both his basics so early on.
Yes, Blood Moon. Drew that second island. If he did draw that second island, I don't think
good rip off the monkey. Yep. Good rip off the second basic.
Ragavan doing what it does best. Steal games of Modern. That wasn't really a stolen game. It just happened because of Ragavan.
Yeah, and the nice thing for Dan in this, that was a game that just showed exactly why Murktide is so good. It just sees its whole deck.
Mm-hmm.
And Scam,
so many cards.
Scam is very, very powerful, but it's tough when you're going off the top on everything. You're kind of at the mercy of your deck. Sometimes you just got to be lucky.
Yep, you do have 4 Fable the Mirror Breaker, but Chris didn't see any of that game.
That would have been.
That was probably his best draw in his deck for most of that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Make a threat when you play it. Pitch those double black cards out of your hand. Let's see some more cards.
2 bodies against Murktide is quite good because they're just usually 1 for. I guess they get Furied, but Dan only has 2 copies of Fury in his deck.
And if you ever get 2 flipped copies of the Fable, then
you can just threaten a bunch of damage.
Yeah. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Definitely one of Chris's better cards in the matchup.
Looks like players are siding. I'm thinking Dan is probably cutting some monkeys. And I'm betting you that Chris is bringing in some monkeys.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dan boards out maybe a couple Stern Scoldings on the draw. Maybe
you think so?
Maybe not. I think there's a chance, but he probably just.
I don't know. Stern Scolding is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
just pretty darn good.
It's pretty good at almost all stages of the game.
Yeah. But let's see. Who do you think is going to win this game 3?
This game's on the play now, so you never know. This game can just do the thing.
So my gut is saying Scam. My heart is going for the dragon.
Oh yeah,
the big dragon.
My heart's going for anything that's not Scam.
No, it's I think the big dragon's going to take this.
But realistically, yeah, I think
this
matchup's always quite close.
Yeah, I actually think that this Murktide deck has a very reasonable scam matchup.
Yep, I think Murktide, yeah.
Mengucci was definitely on to something when he brewed this together.
Mm-hmm. Mengucci's usually right.
You usually want to be on the Mengu train.
Yeah, as long as
he plays a lot of Magic, I hear.
Just a little bit.
All right, Dan's hand. No basics, but we do got to fetch land to get our basic. It's 5 lands, 2 spells. Tricky. 2
spells are a Bolt and a Stern Scolding.
Oh man, it's tough.
It is tough.
His opponent's keeping 7.
Very reactive hand.
Opponent's keeping 7, and that Bolt does not stop a scammed Fury. Very important.
No. I mean, if Chris just does the grief thing on turn 1.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
4 lands plus 3 spells. I think you're in business. Doesn't really matter what the 3 spells are.
Nope.
You can work with it. But seeing 5 lands,
even rough. Just a Thought Seed's kind of
you poke a big hole in that hand. Yeah. And if you just see the Stern Scolding, like, okay, well, I can play into a Stern Scolding.
Yep.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of players don't do enough. They sometimes just play into the counter spell so you can resolve something else.
Yep. Sometimes you just gotta.
Okay, this hand's already looking a lot better. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we got an island in there.
3 lands. I think you actually bin the. I think you bin the fetch land. Oh, he's been in a Dragon Rage channeler. Okay, I'd like to keep 2 threats myself, but
2 threats can be soft to a Fury, but I can see reasons for keeping or bottoming it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't hate bottoming the fetch land either, especially with this Preordain in hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You got there's just okay.
Spell Snare. I don't hate that either.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Spell Snare is good, but it can be a little situational.
No, he thought better than us. That's fine. What happens when you're in the hot seat? Ooh. Fortunate for Dan.
No turn 1 play.
Nothing. What does that mean?
That's interesting.
That's a Void Walker if I've ever seen it.
Maybe it's a Blood Moon hand?
Perhaps.
I guess we'll see what he gets off of this fetch land, and I guess that'll give us the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what kind of scam hand would you keep that had no turn 1 play?
I don't know. He got a Blood Crypt tapped, so it's not a Blood Moon hand.
This is probably the mid-range hand.
It must be a Dauthi Voidwalker hand.
Dauthi, Fable, that sort of thing. I see. He's keeping it pretty close to the chest. I can't really see. Ooh, it's not dead after all.
Yep, so I'm not dead.
All right, Chris, show us what you got.
Swamp.
Okay, so
Swamp?
This is reading Bowmaster.
Smells like a Bowmaster from a while away.
Okay, and we're playing our fetch land to get our basic. Good call on Dan's part. Good call.
I think we already have a basic in hand as well, so let's be both basics. And as we saw that...
Better be lucky than good sometimes.
Yep, he played through the Blood Moon with 2 basics last time, so... Hopefully that was not Chris's plan.
If I'm Dan, I'm passing. There's no shot.
Yep.
I don't think you can afford to put down a creature because you know that your opponent's repping Bowmaster.
Mm-hmm.
So then what is your follow-up? Counter it? But if you counter it, then you get a lot more options holding up this fetch land. Okay, well, this is pretty good.
Yep, this makes a lot of sense.
Bin it, yep.
Is it a Lightning Bolt?
I think it was Unholy Heat.
Unholy Heat.
But I think you just bin it because you don't want to... You just want to fill it for Delirium.
Yep, absolutely. And maybe he's thinking there's a chance he can hit the Delirium off of the trigger when he tries to Bowmaster this Darcy.
Mm-hmm. Very possible.
It's risky, but...
Very possible. Here we go, Dan.
So I think we're gonna Stern Folding this.
I'm assuming you're fetching for a basic.
Yep.
Trigger the...
We get the Spell Scenario, that's right. That makes sense. Pretty good. Definitely looking for that basic.
Yeah. You cannot let yourself get blood burned.
No, absolutely. Why let yourself lose to it when you can play around it?
Easily play around it too.
Yeah.
It's not like you're really hurting yourself that much.
No.
So okay. So if this channeler sees land, okay, it's our creature. Or I was gonna say
Well, it wasn't going to die anyways. You didn't need, because we're countering the.
Well, no, it prevents it from dying to a second Bowmaster.
Yeah, correct.
Because Dan's tapping out for this. It's a Grief. He can scam Grief.
I think we're just going to really live with the Thought Seize. That was a nice thought. Ooh, okay. Wow, okay.
So actually, Chris at this point could rip every card out of Dan's hand, except for the basic.
If he has another black card.
I believe he does.
Okay. And if he does, I think we're just taking the whole thing. Bolt the Dragon's Rage.
Okay. Is this... Yeah, it's double Grief. Not... What are we doing?
Do we not have a Not Dead after all?
He has 2 Griefs and a Not Dead.
Interesting.
But he just passed the turn.
I guess his plan is to hardcast these Griefs.
Dangerous. If I'm Dan, I think...
requesting Druid.
I think I'm just casting this Expressive.
Yep.
Get max value.
Absolutely. If your opponent's going to let you have the Expressive.
Okay. So Dan's doing it. This is a pretty nice play, too. He already got the land locked up.
Yep.
We don't need to find another one. We're just going to cast the Questing Druid on our opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go from there. Which is totally a reasonable plan. I don't know if I like it. I think I would have scammed.
I think I absolutely would have. Seeing that he had an Expressive Iteration or preordained.
Because that everything's face up.
Yep, everything's face up. And especially if you have the Bolt, too.
He might be rewarded for waiting.
Potentially.
If he draws land, he potentially could be rewarded for waiting.
Just a pass.
Don't know what we're passing to. So we got Raja out there with his
adventure.
His adventure.
And another Expressive Iteration.
Oh, baby. Okay, that's
massively rewarded for not playing the other one.
Ooh, Fury. Excellent.
Just gonna slam this Expressive Iteration.
Oh, that's
bunch of lands.
That's fine.
Could be
that's
worse
perfect.
right now.
That's perfect.
No, Dan don't think it's too unhappy about that. Just get a couple fetches. Gets our green source to cast this question.
No, just put the fast land in the. You're not holding up, Dan. Just put the fast land out there. All right. Thin his deck. Okay.
I'm okay with taking this couple fetches. That's fair.
Once you get that green source for the.
Yep, you get the breeding pool for the Questing Druid.
And I think I see a Bowmaster's drawn.
Okay, that's interesting.
The Spell Snare should be gone now.
Yeah, the Spell Snare was used in the last Bowmaster. So.
No, the spell or not Spell Snare. The Spell Pierce is gone because the Question Druid.
Well, you can still play it this turn.
We're still in Dan's turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I believe.
Now it should be gone. Okay. Okay. I thought we were in Chris's turn.
Nope.
That was a long way of doing nothing.
Looks like Chris drew the land. So we're going to be able to start just hard casting these Griefs here.
I don't hate it.
No, it's quite good here, honestly.
One thing I'm going to say, though, is that the Questing Druid is going to get much bigger than those Griefs.
Oh, absolutely.
Very fast. I think we cast Grief and scam Grief.
You have to evoke it to scam it.
Well, he's got another black card. Remember, he's got the Bowmaster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're saying.
Oh, but no, we don't have the other land. We don't have the land for the.
If he just has another Grief and another black card, he can evoke the one from hand.
That's
using
true.
The Not Dead.
True, and he's thinking better.
So this Expressive Iteration, this preordain that I don't know. I still feel like we should have scammed a couple turns ago, but maybe it's
or like last turn.
Yeah. Just so many
this
cards.
is a big problem that a lot of players have against Murktide is giving it time to see these cards. Mm-hmm. It will see all its cards. I promise you. Yeah. You have to put your boot down eventually. And by waiting to scam the Grief, we're seeing a lot of just giving him a lot of time. He's at 17 life now.
Mm-hmm. Because hard casting the Grief is good and all, but with all these card draws.
And now we're going to cast a Questing Druid, and it's going to be massive.
Yep. And all this time that we're waiting to hardcast these Griefs, Dan can just spend time looking for more removal spells for the Griefs, so they won't even be a clock.
There you go, Questing Druid.
So Questing Druid time. See what this baby can do. New format staple, 2/2. Who knew that if you just put another spell on the Quirion Dryad,
2 lands, bottom
would be good.
What do we draw? Is that a Murktide,
like
perhaps?
Spell.
Maybe a counter spell, perhaps. Shock. Okay. So we're going to 15.
It was a Murktide.
Oh,
that's quite
the
good.
dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Druid's already 3/3.
Yeah, it's big fast.
Yep. Korean Dryad is a already very close to playable card, and slapping a whole other spell on it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't take much.
The impulse is crazy.
Yes.
How big is it? 7/7.
7/7. We take those.
Respectable. Basically, it says your opponent cannot fetch again.
If Chris puts 3 power into play, Dan puts 10 power into play, so all right, go right ahead, opponent.
So we gotta be scamming at this. Like we got 2 not deads, a Bowmaster, another grief. He's just banking on his opponent blocking, double blocking, and then just not dead. The question is, does Dan want to play into it? If I'm Dan,
because if you
take it.
Yeah, you just take the 3. Because if you double block, you lose the questing druid, and you can just assume that.
Yeah, Dan's just like, yeah,
effect.
I'm okay. I'll take it.
Yep. So the high life total. Doesn't need to worry about that too much.
Grief. Okay.
Another grief. Got the expressive iteration.
Okay, so we see. Okay, so
land.
I think you attack with the dragon and the questing druid because your opponent's tapped out. Because your opponent's tapped out, there's no chance that they're going to scam.
Yep.
Dan's just thinking, do I want to offer the trade?
Yeah, Dan's going to offer the trade.
I would offer the trade all day.
Makes it a 2-turn clock instead of a 3. Because the Murktide is only a 7/7.
Yep. His opponent is obligated to block.
Yep. Dan's okay with that.
Take 7, go to 8. Fetch lands are off the table now. Dan giving a little bit of free information there.
Just hoping for no terminate off the top.
That's a Ley Line of the Void. That is not
good enough
going
here.
to
Not
do
if
it.
the dragon's already in play.
So we can attack Dan down to 10.
Yep.
And then Bowmasters down to 9.
Okay.
Respectable. But the dragon's still faster.
Dan does win this race.
Bang. Hit him with the dragon.
Didn't get a good look at what we drew. Dan kind of kept it hidden.
Trying to give us a little bit of suspense.
Yeah, absolutely. Love some showmanship.
Mm-hmm. It must have been an actual playable card if he's thinking this much. I guess he's thinking, do I buff the army if it's a draw spell?
Yeah, if it was a cantrip, then it's interesting because of the Bowmaster.
I don't think you risk it.
No, I think you just attack for 7 and pass.
Yeah. I definitely can see the thought. Like,
yes.
or like
absolutely.
Maybe
there's no reason.
But like, how many
no
outs do you have that just end the game on the spot? Ragavans don't end it on the spot. Nope. It's just your bolts.
It's 5 power in play right now.
And that's a fetch line. Doesn't do anything. We attack for 5. Oh, he showed us. I missed it. Too quick. Oh, it's not a fetch line. Okay.
All right. Looks like Dan got it.
Yep, the big dragon.
The dragon took it.
Turns out
a little bit of an awkward, slower hand for Chris in that game 3.
And I think that was very strange. I think there could have been some scamming that could have happened way sooner. It would have definitely drastically changed how that game played out. That turn where Dan was tapped out and he could have stripped all the resources from his hand.
Yep.
Would have drastically changed that game because Dan that was like 3 turns that he didn't scam after that turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he never cast those. Not at after alls.
Never did.
Just sat in his hand.
Nope.
But yeah, no, it was an interesting match. Actually, some good back and forth.
No, I agree, Bubble Tea. The problem is why is he not casting is the issue. I think if he casts it, he gets a clock going and he actually can close out the game. By not doing that, he just gave Murktide too much time, which we were talking about. Where if you give it too much time, it's going to see all its cards and eventually it's going to find something playable, and it's going to win the game because of it. Turns out when you play a deck that's full of bad cards, and you find your good cards, you win.
You win.
But we're going to take a break. Steven might show up in between rounds when Noah and I need a break. He hates Scan, so he doesn't really want to be on camera for Scan.
Nope.
And he doesn't really like elementals either, so he doesn't want to be on camera for elementals.
Not a whole lot that Steven wants to comment. So I don't blame him.
Yeah, Modern's an acquired taste right now. By acquired,
this match was actually
this was a good match.
Yeah,
this was
actually a fun match to watch.
So. But yeah, Steven does hate a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. I think at this point, Warden's usually one of the last people playing. I'm sure that we're getting close to time, and we'll be back for round 2 shortly, where we'll see some more great Magic.
Yeah.
All right.